Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to yet another episode in Inner Guide program. Today, I'm going to share with you a wonderful teaching that is given by our great teacher Supreme Buddha on how to protect our wealth. Now, as human beings, we need money to live a comfortable life nowadays, right? You need money to buy foods, you need money to buy clothing, you need money to buy fuel to the vehicles and everything. These days, everything is based on money. But many of us doesn't know how to protect the money that we earned and how to save the property, to protect the property that we earned in our life. Our great teacher Supreme Buddha advised us you should avoid 6 things in your life in order to save and protect the properties and the wealth that you earned in your life. If you avoid these 6 things, you will be able to protect everything that you earned. But if you keep on doing these things within your life, Supreme Buddha said, it is a drain to your wealth. It is a drain on your wealth. Right? If you keep on doing these 6 things, the money and the wealth that you earn will be drained off. Right? They will be wasted. So what are these things? Number 1, Supreme Buddha said, taking intoxicating drinks and drugs is a drain on your wealth. What are the intoxicating drinks and drugs? They are the alcoholic drinks and the drugs. Now the thing that behind this alcohol and the drugs is, sometimes you may start with a little bit of alcohol, right? You don't mind about that. But the more we get it, we will be used to that drug, right? After that, you want more. You want something that gives more intense and more pleasure through that. So what will happen? We will get addicted to that drug. We will get addicted to the alcohol. If you are being addicted to that, you will spend money on that every day. Right? You cannot get off from that. You cannot get out from that. So the more we take these alcoholics and drugs, we will get addicted to them and we will spend money on that. Right? Some people spend thousands and millions of their money, their wealth, to take the alcohols, to drink alcohol, to take drugs. Supreme Buddha said, if you keep on taking intoxicating drinks and drugs, it's a drain on your wealth. Right? It doesn't matter how rich you are, how wealthy you are, it will start to drain off. And one day, you will end up as a poor person. You will be poor from wealth as well as you will be poor from your health. So that is the danger behind the alcoholic drugs. Right? Don't use them. Keep away from them. You know it is not good for your health and your wealth. So why don't you keep away from them? Stay away from them. It is a good thing. That is the first thing, the first fact that drains our wealth. Number 2, Supreme Buddha said, frequenting festivals is a drain on your wealth. What is frequenting festivals? If you keep on partying all the time, if you are a party guy, right, there are people who keep on doing the parties and going to parties and festivals and ceremonies and their whole life is a party, right? If you are frequenting parties, right, you will have to spend money on those parties. You will have to spend money on the clothes and the drinks and all the requirements that you want to go there. And finally, you will spend all the money that you earned, the wealth that you earned in your life, to make some pleasure to your life in those parties. The more we go to parties, the more our wealth will be drained off. Therefore, Supreme Buddha said, it is okay to go to parties. It doesn't matter. If it is okay to go to the festivals and music festivals, it doesn't matter. But if you are frequenting that, if you are doing it frequently, that is the wrong thing. That is the wrong point. So what you have to do, you have to control this, right? So don't go to parties all the time. Just work on yourself, work on your success, right? Then you can manage and you can save the money that you earned without wasting them. It is a total waste. Number 3, Supreme Buddha said, loitering in the streets at night is a drain on your wealth. If you are wandering at night without any reason, without any purpose at night in the streets, Supreme Buddha said, it is a drain on your wealth. Why? You're going out of your house at night. Supreme Buddha said, when you go out and loiter and wander here and there out in the streets, your property, your house, your wealth, and your children, your spouse is left unguarded. Right? There's no one to guard them. So anything can happen to your wealth. So if you're wandering and loitering without any purpose, now it doesn't say that you don't want to go out at night. You can go out at night. It doesn't matter. But if you are wandering here and there without any reason, right, to pleasurize yourself, that is a wrong thing to do. That is a drain on your wealth. So that is why Supreme Buddha said you should not wander and loiter here and there without any reason at night in the streets, right? That is the third drain on your wealth. And also Supreme Buddha said gambling is a drain on your wealth. You know the thing behind the gambling, right? You spend money, you spend lots of money to gamble, to do those sports or whatever they call. And if you lose, suddenly you lose a lot of money that you earned, right? If you win, it's okay, you earn money. But every day through gambling, you cannot win. Most of the time, people lose through gambling and they lose their money. So if you keep on gambling, it's a drain on your wealth, right? The people who go to the casinos and the things, they will drain their wealth off. That is the fourth point. And also Supreme Buddha said, being with bad friends, evil friends, is a drain on your wealth, right? If you have bad friends, evil friends, they will always use you to spend money. There are some friends, they are called the takers. They always try to take something from you, right? If you have money, they are all around you. If you don't have money, they are gone. So you have to decide your friends, how my friends are, who my friends are, right? And also always choose friends that always helps you in your life, right? The friends who always give the good advice to your life. Right? Do not be with evil friends. If you are being with evil friends, if you are being with alcoholic friends, your money will be drained off. So being with evil friends is a drain on your wealth. And the final fact that drains your wealth is the laziness. If you are being lazy, you are not earning anything in your life, any money in your life, any wealth in your life. If you get up at 10 a.m. in the morning, that's laziness. you cannot be successful, right? If you need to be successful, you need to be away from the laziness. You have to get up early in the morning and start working on your success, right? That needs the courage, that needs the grit. It is difficult, but if you keep on doing it, if you keep on making your life a success one day you can be a wealthy person. So these are the 6 things that drains your wealth. If you stay away from these 6 things, you can save the property and the wealth that you earn. Okay? So stay away from these 6 things and earn money. It is not a problem that you earn money. It is not a bad thing, but you should know how to save that money that you earned. Okay, so be away from these 6 things and make your life a better one. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to yet another episode in Inner Guide program. In life, when we are studying, normally we experience this special feeling most of the time. Sometimes when we are studying and when we are facing exams especially, we may find the times and moments that we forget everything that we have studied. Have you ever experienced that? If you are a student, I think most of you have experienced this special feeling. In the middle of the exam, when you come across a question, you try to memorize the thing, that special thing that you have studied, but nothing comes to your brain, nothing comes to your head. It feels like suddenly everything has been vacuumed off. Have you ever felt that? I think most of us have felt that experience. Our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, taught us there are 5 reasons for the forgetfulness. There are 5 reasons for being forget that what we have studied. So what are those 5 reasons? These are called 5 hindrances. In Pali language, in the Buddha's words, it is called pancha nivarana. When you take the word nivarana, the exact meaning of the word nivarana means there is something covering up your mind, right? That means these things cover your mind. It's like you put your mind inside a polythene bag, right? When you put something inside a polythene bag and you tie it tightly, and if you kept it under running water, does the thing or the special object that is inside that polythene bag get wet? It doesn't get wet because the polythene bag has been covered all over, right? It does not permit to the water to go inside. Same as that, our mind can be covered by certain thoughts, right? When our mind is obsessed with certain thoughts, nothing will come inside to our mind. The things that we study will be forgotten. So these are called the 5 hindrances. In the Buddha's word, they are called pancha nivarana. The first hindrance to the mind is, Supreme Buddha said, kamachanda. Kamachanda means the sensual desire, sensual craving, right? If you are thinking about the craving thoughts, lustful thoughts inside your mind while you are studying, right? The things that you study will never go inside to your mind. You will never memorize them. Why? Your mind is obsessed with those lustful thoughts. Imagine a situation when your mind is full of lust. Normally we cannot think about the good and bad. Normally we are not in the real consciousness. Our mind is somewhere else, thinking about those lustful and pleasurable thoughts. When our mind is in that arena, right? When our consciousness, awareness is in that arena of our mind, the lust, inside the lust of our mind, nothing will come inside the mind, right? Though we study, though we are inside a classroom, right? Though your physical body is inside a classroom, your mind is somewhere else. So therefore, you will never remember anything that you studied. Okay? That is called the first hindrance, the sensual desire. Number 2, vyapado. Vyapado means the anger. When you are angry, when your mind is full of anger, can you think about anything out of that? No, because your mind is full of anger, right? Your mind is heated with anger. If you're studying with an angry mind, with a mind which is full of hatred, nothing will remember. You cannot remember anything that you study. So that is the second hindrance to your mind. Number 3, Supreme Buddha said, the sleepiness. That is called Tena Midda, the sleepiness. Now, when you're being in the class, when you're studying in the class, normally when you're studying, most of the students feel sleepy and lazy. When you're studying with sleepiness and laziness, you will never remember anything that you studied. Because your mind is filled and your mind is occupied with sleepiness. It is covered with sleepiness. When the sleepiness covers your mind, the things that you study will never go inside. Right? So that is the third hindrance. Number 4, Supreme Buddha said, Uddacha Kukkucha, restlessness and remorse. There are some times that our mind is becoming restless. It will become distracted, right? So many thoughts will pop up inside our mind in such times. And also, sometimes we regret about the things that we have done in the past, right? When you're regretting about the things that you have done in the past, and when your mind is restless, remember, you cannot remember anything that you study, right? You will never remember anything that you study because your mind is occupied by the restlessness and remorse. It is covered with that. When the restlessness and the remorse cover your mind, nothing will go inside, right? If you try to meditate, nothing will happen. If you try to study, nothing will happen. No progress. And the final hindrance, it is called the doubt. If you have doubt about yourself, whether I can do this or not, will I do this or not? When you're studying, if you are doubting about yourself, if you have doubts about yourself, your success, you cannot remember anything. Because you are thinking about yourself as a low person, right? So you don't think about yourself as a low person, right? And do not think about yourself in a higher level, right? Do not overestimate yourself and also do not underestimate yourself. You should live moderately. When you are studying, always think, I am studying as I can, in the best form and in the best way that I can. Right? Do not compare yourself with others, because the more you compare yourself with others, you will start to doubt about yourself. When the self-doubt covers your mind, nothing that you study will go inside your mind. Right? So when you're studying, what you have to do, you have to stay away from these hindrances. Number 1, sensual desire, sensual craving. Number 2, anger. Number 3, sleepiness. Number 4, restlessness and remorse. And number 5, the self-doubt. If you stay away from these 5 factors, these five evil thoughts, remember, always the things that you study will go inside your mind. You can take it out anytime, anywhere from your mind, because it is well established inside your mind. You're well focused to the studies, you're well focused to the things that you study, and all the things that you will study will be absorbed by your mind. So how to stay away from these evil thoughts? I have to share the remedy for these evil thoughts. Supreme Buddha said the best medication, the best medicine for these evil thoughts is the meditation. Right? Try to calm your mind through meditations. Now, most of the younger generation, as you, are not so much focused to the meditation. Remember, if you are a student, if you are a human being, no matter what, you have to calm your mind. You have to practice to make your mind serene. So the best thing that makes your mind serene is the meditation. Right? So start meditating at least about 5 minutes a day. It is best to meditate early in the morning, soon after you get up, refresh yourself, sit for 5 minutes and do some meditation. You can do breathing meditation. You can stay being aware of your breathing pattern. It will calm down your mind. And also you can do loving kindness meditation. You can spread love and kindness to yourself and to the others. These meditations are common and known meditations by everyone. So you can do that. Right? If you start meditating, you will feel that your mind is serene and peaceful. The more your mind gets peaceful, the more you will remember what you study. So when you are studying, it is very essential. It is much more important to maintain a serene and calm and concentrated mind. For that, you need to practice meditations little by little, step by step. Okay, so do some meditations for at least 5 minutes a day, and when you do these things, your mind will start to stay away from these 5 hindrances. So when your mind starts to stay away from these hindrances, you will feel that you can remember everything that you study. So make your life a peaceful one. Make your mind a peaceful place through the meditation. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to yet another episode in Inner Guide Q&A program. Today we're going to be discussing about an important question, and that is the willpower. How to develop our willpower. Coming right up. So when we talk about willpower, First of all, we need to understand about this. Willpower is the ability to control our emotions and put ourselves into a schedule and work on it for our own success. So many of us find so much hard, and it is a tough task to run ourselves in a schedule. To do that, we need to have the willpower. We need to have that mental discipline to control the emotions that pop up in our mind. So, how to do this thing? Well, there is a basic and very important factor that always helps us to develop our willpower. And that is known as, our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, taught us, and that is known as the chanda. Chanda means the desire, passion. So if you have the desire for doing something, if you are passionate on doing something, if you are passionate of developing yourself, you will be always motivated and you will always have that energy within yourself to do that, right? But many of the students actually, and many of us, find very hard to get up early in the morning and start studying. Why? Because we don't have that willpower. To develop that willpower, we need to have the desire for doing that, right? So desire or the passion is the factor that drives through these tough tasks. So first of all, we need to develop the passion or the desire for our own success. So how to do that? So if you see some advantages of doing something, right? If you feel the advantages of doing something, then you will be passionate on doing that. So for an example, if I tell you that tomorrow you're going to go a picnic or a trip, so you should show up at 3 a.m. in the morning to a specific place. Normally, we will get up at maybe 2 a.m. and we will get ready. We will pack our bags and we will go for that, and we will show up right at 3 a.m. because we are passionate about that. We have that desire to go and have that pleasure. So in that case, you can get up early in the morning. But if we tell a person or a student to get up early in the morning and study, he or she will never do that because you don't have the desire for that. So first of all, you need to contemplate and you need to focus on the advantages of studying, right? You need to visualize that the achievements that you are going to achieve in the future, right? So when you see that specific goal and destination that you have to go, and if you visualize that you are going to have that, then you will develop your desire, right? So to develop the passion or the desire, you need to always focus on the advantages of what you are doing. So if you put the love and if you put the desire, your passion into your work, then you will have that willpower. Your willpower will be developed day by day, right? So willpower or this motivation is not a thing that we get from our birth, right? It should be developed. It's like a muscle, right? It is quite same that when you go to the gym and when you work out, right? Day by day, it's growing up your muscles. That is the nature. But we cannot expect quick results from these things, right? So if you went to the gym and if you work out, right, in the first day, if you come in front of the mirror and look to yourself, there will be no change. But if you are going to the gym constantly and working out, if you work out, your body starts to grow up. Same goes with this willpower, or same goes with success. If you are doing it every day without stopping, that is called the consistency, right? Consistency is the key to success. So if you are working on your success consistently with the willpower, with the love, passion, then it will start to grow. So first of all, you need to develop the willpower. You need to have the passion or the love. To develop that passion, you need to concentrate on the advantages that you are getting by doing these things, right? So now I'm going to talk about what are the things that destroys our willpower. There are some evil and bad habits which can decrease the willpower. So what are these things? These are called the addictions, right? So the first thing that I must say, and the first and the main thing that destroys the willpower is the addiction to alcoholic drinks and the drugs. They can ruin your willpower very much. So stay away from alcoholic drinks and drugs and everything, because they destroys your mentality, and also they destroys your health, right? The more your health will be destroyed, the more your mentality, your mental strength will be decreased. So stay away from the drugs and alcoholics. And the second thing is, probably this might be a little bit harder for you, actually, it is the video games, right? If you are addicted to gaming all the time, it can cause to decrease the willpower. So these are the things that we call the dangerous or unwanted addictions in our life. So you must stay away from those things, right? And also, finally, the pornography. If you are addicted to watch porn all the time, that will be a huge impact on your willpower. Okay, so it will decrease your willpower day by day. So stay away from these things, right? Stay away from especially the dangerous addictions in your life. Then work on yourself, have that passion inside yourself, think of the advantages, right? Then you can put love, passion into your work. And when you do that continuously, consistently, you will develop your willpower. And once you develop your willpower, you can achieve any goal in your life. So I wish you all, may all of you have that opportunity to develop the willpower within your lives. Namo Buddhaya, Thiruvon Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to yet another episode in Inner Guide program. Today, from this video, I'm going to discuss with you about a wonderful topic. And that topic is the death. Now, when you hear the word death, most of us become frightened and afraid. Normally, people doesn't like to talk about death, right? When we are in our families, normally our parents doesn't like to talk about the death in front of them, right? Normally, when you are with your partner, if you talk about the death, he or she will never like about that. Does talking and thinking about the death really makes our life miserable? Do you think like that? Well, our great teacher Supreme Buddha answered for this. In one occasion, our great teacher Supreme Buddha advised us to think about the death every time. Whenever you are possible, you have to think about the death. That is how our great teacher Supreme Buddha taught us. Supreme Buddha said, Marana dhammomhi maranang anatitoti. It means, I am liable to death. Maranang anatitoti. I am not escaped from the death. Abhinnam paccavekittabha. You should recall it again and again throughout the day, whenever you are possible. Right? So that means Supreme Buddha advised us to think about the death always. So will this thinking pattern will make our life miserable? In real, it is not. Right? If you think about this real reality of our life, your life will never become miserable. Why? Remember, when you're thinking about the death, you feel in your heart, you feel that you have a little time to live on this earth. Right? Now, death can happen at any time. Right? The death can hit our life at any time, anywhere, at any occasion in our life. Right? We cannot predict that. So that means our life is unpredictable. Right? It is uncertain. So when we feel that uncertainty within our heart, we know that we have a little time to live on this earth. So if we are living a short time on this earth, we have to do something valuable. We have to do something that adds value to our life. Because we live a little time in this earth. Right? We don't have much time to waste. Right? We waste a lot of time in our life to do nonsense, right? Unwanted things, to do evil things. But if you feel that you have a little time to live on this earth, you will always be motivated to do the good things. Because whenever you are about to do an evil thing, maybe you are going to blame someone, right? Now your mind is occupied by anger. If you think, if I died at this moment, if I died at this exact moment, my rebirth will be not a good one. I am collecting a sin or a demerit, an evil thing to my life, and that is anger. This does not add value to my life. Right? When you feel that, you will always be motivated to stay away from the evil things like anger, hatred, and jealousness. So to that thought pattern, that thinking pattern, thinking about the death will always helps. So that is why Supreme Buddha said, you need to recall and think about, reflect about the death whenever you are possible. Right? Without any gender difference, without any religion difference, everyone can do that. This is the exact truth in our life. So thinking about the death will never make our life miserable. Instead, it will encourage us to do the good things and the right thing always. So be not feared to think about the death, right? As soon as you get up early in the morning, when you go to your washroom, just stand in front of the mirror and see into yourself and think, today I can meet the death. Today there is a big probability for me to be dead. So if I am dying today, what should I do today? Should I get angry with these people? Should I hate these people? Or before I am leaving this world, Should I forgive the people who had made mistakes for my life and make my mind a free one? You can free your mind when you forgive people. Remember, the more you hold on to the anger and resentment, you will never feel free. If you are dying today, right, you can forgive everyone in your life. You can love the people around you from the bottom of your heart, right? You can be compassionate and kind to everyone that meets you because you know that you are dying today. If you feel that exact feeling inside your mind, you will always be motivated to do the good things. So do not be fear to think about the death. Always reflect about that, and it will surely make your life a better one. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. When we come to this human world, we met lots of people around us. Even for today, we have people who we like most, who we love most. They may be your parents, they may be your life partners, they may be your neighbors, maybe. They may be your relatives, whatever they are, whoever they are. Remember, we have a little bond between those people and our mind. Don't we have that little attachment? Yes, that is the attachment, that is the bond which keeps us all together. The nature of our mind is when this attachment gets too much tightened, when those people fade away from our life, when they become changed, either from the characteristics and from the problems, when they become changed or when they fade away from our life, we may start to suffer. Because we hold on to them tightly. The more tightly we hold on to those people, the more we will suffer when they become changed, when they become impermanent. So our great teacher Supreme Buddha advised us to think about this reality whenever possible, right? Throughout the day, you have to think about this. At least one time of a day, if you can think this, you will be able to get through those problems and difficult situations in your life. So what is the reality of this life? Supreme Buddha said, Sabbehi me piehi manapehi nana bhavo vina bhavoti. Everything that I love, everyone that I love in my life will fade away one day. That is the reality. Okay? We all have to be departed from every loved one and every loved thing in our life. Isn't that true? Yes, that is the real truth, right? Whoever person we are with, we have to say goodbye to them at least at the death, right? We have to say goodbye to them. We have to leave these people. So that is the reality. The problem is we are not thinking about this thing. We are afraid to think about this. Supreme Buddha said, you need to think about this reality. Why? The more you think this reality, your mind gets prepared to face that moment, face that experience, right? If you are being prepared to face such a terrible and difficult moment, you can easily get over from that problem and difficult time and maintain your peacefulness within yourself without being distracted. Because your mind is prepared for that terrible moment, to face that terrible moment. And you already know that you are going to be departed from these people one day. The more you think it, remember, you will be able to deal with those difficult moments. And also, when you're thinking about this, you will always be motivated to love the people around you, right? Normally, we don't think about that, right? When we are not thinking about that, we always try to hate people, right? We always try to hurt people around us who always loves us. But if you think, one day, they will depart from my life. One day I have to say goodbye to them and leave this world. So before leaving, I have to love them. I have to make them happy. If you can think like that, you will start to love your people around you. Sometimes you may have problems with your life partner, right? If you can think, I am being departed from these people one day. So before that happens, I have to give something valuable to their life. I have to make these people's life a better one. If you can think about this reality, if you can love the people around you, right, you yourself will become peaceful and happy, and as well as the people around you, the people who love you most and the people you love most will become happy. So always think that one day that I have to be departed from all the loving things and loving people around me. So before leaving, before that happens, I have to do something good, and I have to collect something good for my life, and I have to give something good for the people around me. When you think that, you will become peaceful. Try it and see the difference. Namo Buddhaya, Thiruvan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. This is a special inner guide video that is dedicated to the little daughter who had asked a question from us. She had mentioned in her comment that she has a big problem with laziness, and also her exams are near, so she is in a big stress. And also, she said that she no longer finds a value in her life. I think most of the people, most of us have these kind of questions. Okay, let's start with the first question. She had said that she has a big problem with laziness and sleepiness. I know that getting up early in the morning and sitting for studying and doing the studies is a little bit of a hard thing to do when you are a student, especially. First of all, let me introduce you to the inspiring words of the Supreme Buddha. Supreme Buddha said, Sukharani asadhuni attano ahitani cha. It is very easy to do evil things, the things that brings the unhappiness or the suffering or the regret to our life. Supreme Buddha said, Yangve hitangcha sadhungcha tangve paramadukkaram. If there is something that brings us the happiness to our life, if there is something that makes us proud about ourselves, doing such things is a really, really hard thing. So, getting up early in the morning and sitting for studies is a hard thing to do. Why? Because if you do that, it brings the happiness to your life. Right? Studying, educating yourself brings the happiness to your life. So, most of the people, they find hard to get up early in the morning. Now, we all like that fluffy and comfy and warm feeling that we feel on the bed in the morning. So, when you open your eyes in the morning, your mind says, just stay another 5 minutes. And that's the point that you are making the mistake. Your mind, you listen to your mind, you listen to what your mind says. When your mind says, just stay another 5 minutes more, it's okay, it's not a problem, that is where you make the mistake. And that 5 minutes will last long for another hour. And when you get up after an hour, your mind, the same mind that told you to stay on the bed for 5 minutes, will complain you are not studying. It will say that you are going to fail the exams. That is how our mind lies us. That is how our mind tricks us. So when you get up in the morning, when you open your eyes in the morning, right? When your mind says to stay on the bed for another 5 more minutes, do not listen to that. Do not listen to that lie. Get up and refresh yourself and start studying early in the morning. There's a great quote that I remember all times when, even in my life, when I'm going through hard times, I remember this quote. It says, it is a wonderful quote. It says, if you do what is easy today, your life will be hard tomorrow. Let me repeat that again. If you do what is easy today, your life will be hard tomorrow. But if you do what is hard today, your life will be easy tomorrow. So getting up early in the morning is a hard thing. But if you do that hard thing, remember, your life will be easy. But if you stay on the bed for another 5 minutes, doing what is easy, your life will be hard tomorrow. So get up early in the morning. Do you know how long you're going to feel the hardship of getting up early in the morning? Do you know for how many days that you are going to find very hard to get up in the morning? Only for 3 weeks. If you get up early in the morning and start studying in the morning for 3 weeks, remember, only for 3 weeks, it will make a habit to your life. And after that 3 weeks, you will never find it hard. It will become a habit. You don't want to think about it again and again. It will become a day-to-day practice. So do that, although you feel hard, for 3 weeks and see the result. That is the answer for first question. And let's go for the second question. She had mentioned that her exams are near, so she's stressed and she's unfocused. Her mind is clumsy. So what is the answer for this? Remember, now when the exams are near, it is the normal nature that we feel frustrated, distracted, unfocused, and clumsy. That is the normal nature, right? So I need you to do one thing. This is a special thing to do when the exams are near, right? Focus on one thing at a time to study, right? Focus on a single thing at a time to study. Study for 20 minutes, right? When you're studying, just forget all the other things that you have to study. Now, normally when we start to study, we find that there are so many things that we have to study in a short time. Now, the more you remember these things, the more your mind will regret. The more your mind will start to become clumsy. So I need you to do this thing. When you're studying, just forget about all the other things that you have to study. Just think, now I have to study only this thing. There's nothing that I have to study more. Just focus on that and study for maybe 20 minutes and take a break for 5 minutes. This is called the Pomodoro technique. I think it is well known. So study for 20 minutes, well focused, and give yourself a little bit of a break for 5 minutes and start studying again. And focus on the special points in your studies. right? And now, when the exams are near, if you haven't studied, right? So I know you're regretting in your mind. So if you didn't make through the exam, I'm using the word if, right? If you did not make through your exams, I need you to do this thing. What is that? Never, ever give up studying. At some point in our life, we will lose our balance and we will fall down. We will go through hard situations, right? We will fall down in our life, but get back up and try again. You will fall for the first time. You will fall for the second time. You will fall for the fourth time, fifth time. Though you fall for the 1 millionth time, what you have to do is get back up and try again. As humans, we should never give up in our studies and in our success. So, if you did not make through the exams, do not quit your studies. Do not quit your education. Right? Get back up and try again, and one day, you will find that you have been success. And let's go for the third question. She said that she no longer finds a value in her life. Remember, as humans, we are born to this world to add a value to our life. When we come to this world, we brought nothing. We had nothing. We knew nothing. But as humans, we have to add a value to this life. Right? Study well, start loving others, start loving your parents. And if you cannot study for yourself, right? If you cannot work for yourself, work for the people who loves you. There are so many people around you who loves you, who have dedicated their life on behalf of yourself, right? They are your parents. Try to bring a smile to your parents' face saying, "Mom, Dad, I made it." One day you should do this. So if you did not give up, you will be success one day. But if you quit, if you give up your education, if you give up in your goals, it is very sure you will fail. Therefore, never give up. Work for yourself as well as work for the people who love you most. Right? Bring a smile to their face. Right? The only thing that you have to do in your position as a child, as a student, is to study only. You don't want to earn money. You don't want to look after the babies. There's nothing to do. Only thing that you have to do is to study. Do that, but never give up. That is what I have to share in this special video. So I wish that daughter and all of you have the same questions in your life. May you be well and happy. May you live long. May you live a happy life. And may all of your dreams come true. And may all of you realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautam Buddha's dispensation. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. In life, in some instances, we regret about the things that we have done in the past, right? We think that, oh, I shouldn't have done this thing, right? If I did not do this thing, my future and present will be much better than now. Like that, we regret about the things that we have done. Our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, taught us a way or the facts that you should develop within your life to build up a life without the regrets. So this great advice was preached by our great teacher Supreme Buddha in Alavaka Sutta. In that sutta it says, to build up a life without the regret, you need to have 4 qualities. You need to have 4 qualities. Number 1, Supreme Buddha said, you need to live a life with truthfulness. That means you need to speak always the truth. Now, when we take this fact, normally people think in order to escape from the problems, in order to escape from the difficult situations that they find in their life, they need to lie to the people, right? If they say a lie, then they can escape from that. Of course, for that instance, they can escape from that problem. But remember, if you say a lie, if you tell a lie to someone, you will have to remember that lie forever, because you need to protect that lie without being revealed, right? So sometimes you need to tell 10 more lies to protect that one lie. So after the truth has been revealed, because one day the truth wins always. So after the truth has been revealed, the people will regret about what they have done in the past. They will think, oh, I shouldn't have said this thing. In that time, I shouldn't live that like that. So Supreme Buddha taught us, you should live a truthful life in order to live a life without regrets. Number one. Number two, Supreme Buddha said, you should be wise. You should have the wisdom in your life. So what is the wisdom? You should be wise in taking decisions of your life. Remember, your life is so valuable. It has a great value. The decisions that you make in your life, the choices that you make in your life will determine your success in your life. Right? So that is why Supreme Buddha said, you need to be wise in making choices in your life. So every time when the thoughts pop up in our mind, we make a choice to act on them. Right? When evil thoughts pop up in your mind, evil thoughts like anger, resentment, hatred, jealousy, when these thoughts arise in our mind, we make the choice to act upon them. And also when the wholesome thoughts pop up in our mind, we make the choice to act on them or speak on them. So our great teacher Supreme Buddha taught us, you need to make a good choice. When the good thoughts arise inside your mind, you need to make a choice. I should do this. I should do this action. This is a wholesome thing. This is a good thing to do. Right? When the evil thoughts pop up in your mind, what you have to think is, no, these thoughts are not good for my life. These are harmful for me as well as to the others. Right? So I should not do this thing. I should not speak like this. In that way, you need to make a good choice to always bring your life from evil to the wholesome. That is called the wisdom. The ability to find what is good and what is bad. Ability to distinguish what is good and what is bad. It is called the wisdom. And also Supreme Buddha describes the wisdom so much far away from that point. But in your life, you have to be wise in making decisions. You have to be wise when you choose your friends. You have to be wise when you're dealing with people. Right? If you live a wisdomful life, right? If you live a life full of wisdom, your life will never remain in regret. So that is the second one. Number 3, Supreme Buddha said, you need to be courageous. In order to achieve any successful goal in our lives, we need to work hard. We need to work hard without giving up. Each and every successful person in this world had the courage to achieve those successful goals. Right? Without hard work, Without practicing, without the courage, you cannot achieve good goals in your life. Right? If you did not have the courage in the time that you should have courage, right? After you become old, after all those chances are blown away from your life, remember, you will have to regret about your life. So that is why Supreme Buddha said, you have to earn money when you are young, or you have to live a wholesome life when you are young. When you become old, if you did not earn money, and as well as if you did not live a wholesome life, you will have to regret about your life. So that is why Supreme Buddha said, be courageous in your life, right? Practice the courage. If you have the courage in you, if you have the dedication within your life, you can achieve the good goals in your life. That is number 3. Number 4, Supreme Buddha said, having all these qualities, you should be generous. So what is generosity? Generosity means ability to give the things in your life and share the things in your life with others. Right? Normally people, when they become more wealthy, right, when they become rich, they don't like to give the things to others. Remember, life is not living only for yourself. Life is also about how we dedicate our lives for others, how we help others, right? So that is why Supreme Buddha said, you can be rich, earn money, no problem, but you should be generous. Don't be stingy. Be a helping hand to this world, right? So if you practice the generosity within you, you can be happy with yourself, because you feel that you have done something good in your life, you have helped someone in your life, right? Helping people, the feeling that we get after helping a person, remember, that is one of the greatest and the sweetest memories in our life, happiest moments in our life. So help people, be generous. So if you have these 4 qualities in your life, what is that? Truthfulness, wisdom, courage, and generosity. If you have these 4 qualities within you, Supreme Buddha taught us, you will never have a life with regrets, and you can escape from the regrets in your life. So practice these 4 qualities and build up a life without the regrets. Namo Buddhaya, Theruvan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. Today I'm going to share a wonderful story with you. Once in ancient India, our Mahabodhisattva, whom we called the Buddha to be, was born to a family of traders. He grew older and he became the leader for 500 caravan of traders. So they packed their food, water, and rations to cross long deserts. So one day, while they were traveling to sell their goods to faraway cities, they came across to an edge of a desert. So in order to get to the city, they had to cross this desert. So this wise Mahabodhisattva, this young trader, decided that it is very harsh and it is very dangerous to travel this desert in the daytime, because the sun was too hot and the sand was too hot, like burning charcoal. So they decided to travel in night and to rest in the daytime. So they arranged their carts in a circle in the daytime and they rest under the carts, under the shades. And they started crossing the desert in the night. After a couple of days later, the desert guides said that they have reached their destination and they are one night away to the city. So the traders was very happy and they ate everything that they had and they drank their water because they had to reduce their weights in the cart. So while traveling at the night, the desert guides lost their path. And after traveling a long circle, they returned back to the middle of the desert. Now, when the sun rose in the next day, they realized that they had lost their way and they have come to the middle of the desert. Now they are in the middle of the desert and they have no water and they have no food to eat. So everyone was parched, everyone was tired, and everyone was suffering from thirst. So everyone gave up all of their hopes and they laid down on the hot sand, resigning their life to the fate. But this young trader, our Mahabodhisattva, thought, if I give up my hopes, everyone would die. If I give up my courage, everyone will be in danger. So I must find a solution to cross this desert and I must find a way to find some water to these people. So while our Mahabodhisattva was walking here and there thinking of a solution, he saw a bunch of grass has grown on the desert. Then the Mahabodhisattva decided, if there is a bunch of grass, there must be a stream of water running beneath this bunch of grass. Then he called to everyone and said, dig under this bunch of grass and you will find water. Everyone was happy and they took their spades and mammoties and they started digging a hole in that place. After hours and hours of digging, they came to a surface of a stone. Everyone was tired. Everyone was crying because they could not break the stone. They could not find any sign of water. Then everyone laid down around the hole and they started crying and started yelling at the leader. But our Mahabodhisattva didn't give up. He searched for a person who has the courage to do something about this disaster. Then he called to a boy and Mahabodhisattva said, son, if you give up, we all are in danger. Take this sledgehammer and start striking to the stone. There must be water beneath the surface of the stone. This boy was courageous enough to do that. He believed in the words of the tradesman and he took the sledgehammer, went down to the hole and he started striking hard to the stone. First strike, the stone didn't break. Second strike, it didn't break. Third strike, it did nothing. He summoned up every part of the strength, every single strength that was inside his body, and he struck hard to the stone surface. The stone surface broken. A huge gush of water cascaded from the stone, filling the hole within no time. Everyone was happy. Everyone drank water. Everyone fed their oxen. And they filled their vessels with water and they started traveling. They started crossing the desert again. And finally, they reached to the city happily. Dear children, dear devotees, sometimes when we try for our success, when we do the things that make our lives successful, it seems a bit harder. Sometimes you may feel that you should give up. Remember, you will fail only if you quit, if you give up. If you did not give up, one day you will achieve the successfulness in your life. Therefore, sometimes success may be one step away from our life. All we need to do is go for that, do that, take some risk, and find your success in your life. Because doing these things, doing the things which makes our life better, doing the things which brings the happiness to our life is hard. So you have to remember that if you give up only, you will fail. Therefore, never give up. Always work for your success. Although it is hard, one day that success will make your life happy. So never give up being a good person, and never give up being successful in your life. Namo Buddhaya, Thiruvon Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to yet another episode in Inner Guide Q&A program. Today we are going to discuss about a question that has been mentioned in the comments. The question is how to remain peaceful and calm under stressful situations. Coming right up. Stressful and difficult situations are the situations that we all have faced in all of our lives. But many of us face these situations in an unsuccessful way. Under difficult circumstances, under stressful situations, we become depressed, sad, and anxious. So, how to remain calm and how to maintain your inner peace under these circumstances? So first of all, we have to know and we have to learn and we have to observe what is the situation. Remember, there is a common nature in all the experiences and situations that we face in our life. What is this? What is that common nature? That is called the impermanence. Whatever we encounter and whatever we experience in our life, soon after that has been experienced, it becomes impermanent. Isn't that right? Yes, it is. Now imagine someone is complaining to you about a mistake that you have done or maybe you haven't done, right? So he's yelling at you, right? So in that moment, when the people complain and blame at us, we become depressed, we become sad. But what is the nature of that situation? What is the nature of those words, those rude words? Now soon after we hear them, they become impermanent, right? Soon after you hear them, they will no longer prevail in our life. They are gone. That means everything that we encounter in our life, experience in our life, they become impermanent. That is the nature. But the real problem is that our mind clings to those experiences, and there's a nature in our mind that it creates again and again those experiences inside. Now, for an example, as I mentioned before, when someone blames us, right? Now we know that soon after that we got the blame, the words are gone, they have become impermanent. But what our mind does, it creates those words again and again. We think those rude words again and again, and we become sad and depressed. But the real nature is, those words are gone. They have become impermanent. Right? So that is the nature. Understanding about the impermanence. Understanding that these experiences and all the things that we face in our life are impermanent is very important to face or to be calm in a difficult situation. Because you know the nature. That is the first step. We need to understand that each and everything that we face in our life is impermanent. Right? Whether you face a terrible time, it will become impermanent. It will be changed. There will be a good day. Whether you face a good time, a happy time, a wonderful time, that will also become impermanent. That is the nature. So first of all, you need to understand about this. The world is impermanent. Our life is impermanent. Nothing is permanent in this world, not even your problems. First step. And the second step, whenever you are in a difficult situation, whenever you are in a terrible moment, you need to practice some practices or to do something to remain peaceful and maintain your peacefulness and think of a solution to solve this problem. So how to do that? Now, many of us, during the difficult situations, we become panicked. We freak out. So it is the best thing to do during a difficult situation is to do some practices to calm our mind. So what we can do to make our minds calm? The best thing that you can do to make your mind calm and peaceful is do some meditation. Right? Do a little bit of a meditation during that stressful situation. So how to do that? The easiest meditation that you can practice within a stressful situation is to contemplate on your breath. Now, breath is an amazing thing. It changes according to the situation. Isn't that right? So when we are in a terrible moment, right? When we are in a dangerous moment, what is the nature of our breathing pattern? It becomes fast and it becomes shorter. We take short and fast breathing patterns, right? So what is the nature of our breathing pattern? That when we go to sleep, what do we do normally? I think most of you have experienced this. When you go to bed and when you lie down, you take a deep breath in and let it go. That is a sign that your body shows that you are going to rest. So if you need to become peaceful and serene and tranquilized, you need to restructure your breath. So in a difficult and terrible and stressful situation, just take deep breaths in. You can do it. Breathe in deeply and let it go. And contemplate on the pattern of your breathing. Now you can do this, but this needs a little bit of a practice. Right? You cannot do it without a practice. First of all, you need to practice this. Now some people may question, now I cannot do this in a difficult situation. Yes, you cannot do it because you don't have that practice. First of all, you need to practice this contemplation and this practice where there is no stressful situations. Right? That is the thing. the nature of these practices is that if you do it whenever there is no problem, then it will help you to practice that way or the situation or that remedy during a stressful situation. There's a great saying that it says, if you sweat during the times of peace, you will bleed less during the times of war. That means if you practice during the times of peaceful situations and where there is no stressful situations, it will help, that practice will help you to face the difficult situations. So, practice at least 5 minutes a day to contemplate on your breath, right? You can feel the way that you are breathing, right? It will help you to tranquilize your mind. Supreme Buddha said, Vitakku pachedaya anapana sati bhavetappa. If you need to stop the chattering mind, if you need to stop the thoughts that are popping up all the time that inside your mind, just practice the anapanasati, or which we call the breathing meditation. Just contemplate on the breathing meditation. When you contemplate your mind on this breathing pattern, right, you're focusing your mind to inhale and to the exhale. That means your mind jumps from one thought to another, but there is only two thoughts: inhale and exhale. You're not thinking about anything else, right? That means you reduced thousands and millions of thoughts to two thoughts. So that is a big thing. So if you do it as a practice, you will feel that your mind will become more and more peaceful and tranquilized. So whenever you face a difficult and stressful situation, try to take deep breaths, few deep breaths in and let them go. And it will make you feel better. Right? So if you need to face a difficult situation, if you need to face a stressful situation successfully, you have to be ready for that situation where there is no stress. So that is how you face the difficult situations without being distracted. And also, as an extra thing, you have to practice the love and kindness. And also, you have to practice the forgiveness. If you can practice these great qualities like compassion, love, and kindness, especially forgiveness, you can maintain your peacefulness. Because when you forgive people, as an example, when you forgive people, that means you are letting go of them, right? The more you forgive, the more you will feel the peacefulness within. But forgiveness does not mean that you are going to fall into the same trap again and again for them. You forgive for yourself, and you know that person, and you can stay away from them in a positive way, and you can still be kind to them. Because kindness and forgiveness starts within your heart, and it will help you always. So practice these practices in the times where there are no stress and disturbing situations. And one day, when you master them, one day you can maintain your peacefulness within yourself without being distracted. Namo Buddhaya, Thiruvan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to yet another episode in Inner Guide Q&A program, where we find the answers for our life problems through the great teachings of our great teacher, Supreme Buddha. Now, one of our viewers have asked a question from us that what is true love according to the Buddhism? Well, when we talk about the topic love, remember, as humans, as beings in this world, we all seek love and affection in our life, right? All living beings needs love to live. So when you talk about the topic love, it is a vast and a broad topic, right? Love can be found in many ways. But the basic and the base for all these kinds of love is the kindness and the compassion. But most oftenly, people may misunderstand the love and the attachment. Right? When we come to the topic of love between the partners, the male and females, boys and girls, many of the boys and girls, they doesn't know what is true love and what is attachment. Now there is a distinct difference between true love and attachment. So what is that difference? Well, when someone loves another person, he will say, I need you to be happy by being with me. Right? In the other hand, if someone being attached to some person, he will always say that why are you not making me happy? Right? So there is a big difference between these two expressions. When someone loves another person, he will say, I need you to be happy by being with me. That means you are trying to give something to someone. Right? You always try to give the happiness to a person. But if you are being attached to someone, right? If you are developing lustful ideas towards someone, your mind will say, why are you not making me happy? You need to make me happy. So that is based on the selfishness, right? The true love is based on unselfishness, right? In the true love, there are many things, many good assets. There are the love, kindness, compassion, patience. These are the basic qualities that leads to the true love, right? If you're loving someone, you need to be kind to that person. You need to be compassionate to that person. You need to feel the sadness of those people. Now, when we talk about the topic compassion, compassion means to suffer with other people. That means if you can feel the pain that is hidden inside the people's life, if you can feel and become empathy, you can feel the empathetic feeling about them, then that is called compassion. If you can share the pain that is in another person with you, then that is compassion. So in true love, you need to have that sharing ability. And also, you need to have the kindness. You need to always wish the well-being of that person. Right? You need always to wish the good of that person. That is how you love truly. Our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, gave a wonderful explanation for the love. Supreme Buddha said, Mata yatan yang puttang ayusa eka putta manurakhe. As a mother who loves her only child, you should spread that same love to every person in this world. So when we talk about mother's love, parents, they does not expect anything from us. Instead, they love us. Now, when we were small, right, we were doing so many terrible things to our parents, right? Have you seen that the babies do so many terrible things to their parents, right? They drag from their hair, they pinch them, they cry, they yell, but yet the parents still love their children. So when someone is truly loving someone, it's like they're holding them firmly and they're nurturing them, right? But if you are attached to a person, you always expect the things from others, right? You always expect the things that fulfill your desires, right? When someone is attached and when someone is being lustful for someone, that means he's always expecting to fulfill every fulfillment and desire from that person. You're not trying to give something, always you are trying to get something from that person, right? It's like you're holding on to something tightly, right? Suppose you are drawing a cow or a bull. You are holding that cow or a bull from a rope. So when that animal tries to escape, what you are doing is you are holding it tightly, right? The more you hold it tightly, you are the one who is getting hurt, right? You are the one who is getting hurt. If you can let go, what will happen? You are not getting hurt anymore. So when you are being attached to a person, you will always get hurt. And you will never fulfill your desires, because desires and sensual desires, they never get fulfilled. We cannot make ourselves satisfied from those things. Okay, so that is what you call the attachment. In attachment, you hold on to things tightly. There is a great quote that describes about love. If you like a flower, right? If you like a flower, you will pluck that flower. But if you love a flower, you will water the plant, that flower plant. So if you love someone, what you have to do, you have to say that I need you to be happy with me, right? I always wish the happiness of your life. If that happiness includes me, that is better. But if it is not, in that case also, I need you to be happy. That is how you love truly. And that is the difference between the true love and the attachment, right? In true love, you don't expect anything from the person, but still you try to give the happiness to them. In attachment, you always expect the things from people and still you will never be satisfied from them. So choose to love the people correctly. If you choose to love people correctly, then you will be a peaceful person throughout your life. Namo Buddhaya, Teruvan Saranai.